Atina back here and now again and again, through and through, because the circle must go back, folding in on itself while the circus shows up somewhere else. I forgot a couple things in that video. Man, I forgot a couple things that I forgot in that video. So I'm gonna just say a couple more things in this video. Science-based woo-woo. What's that mean? The system that y'all are learning about has a foolproof fail-safe. Fool spelled with 2 O's, just like masterful. Masterful. My masterful nature. I am masterful. I am masterful. Because I adapt to the glitch. I acknowledge the nature of change and unpredictable clumsiness upon the course of action. And the master fool is the driver, the operator of the glitch warship on course correction of point cross-sectioned in fact-based simplexity on to the next round, and round we go. Comparing, relating, attempting to conceive of what we mean to say to each other in its fullest embodiment of sensory, synesthesia, supersensorium, core essence of meaning. It's empathy, it's instant empathy, telepathy, and thought in one. The masterful, the glitch warship, the alteration of mind on course correction of point in fact, point made in fact-based, cross-sectioned simplexity. The masterful drives his warship. The warship is your attention span, your personality, your vehicle that you use to pay attention. Attention is the lesser form of faith. When occultist puts his faith in Cthulhu, he summons a higher form of, should we say, I'm not sure what word to use, but a higher form of attention, a full-bodied in attention span, incorporated, giving all of his emotion, all of his everything, letting all of his thoughts pay homage, be influenced by what he is putting his faith in. So the idea that whatever God someone has faith in is the idea that you're impressing importance on and emphasizing within your unconscious mind. So this is the foolproof, fail-safe mechanism. There may be woo-woo in the system, chi, synchronicity, but there's a foolproof, fail-safe mechanism which states that, get ready for it, anything that happens in terms of perceived magic happens within the bounds of perception, based out of unconscious programming, which you have manifested through the ritual, through the meditation and contemplation and visualization. So the fact that all of this magic is based in the bounds of perception, operating through unconscious magic programs, blah blah blah, it means that it's for depth of meaning. The magic doesn't matter if it's real or not. It's for depthifying and connecting and broadening your ability to feel fulfillment, for emotions to have a broader scope of association, thus being more intense, amplified by the way they are associated throughout myriads of association constellations connecting and connectomes of greater cosmic immensity. So the finer you define and refine and focus on the specifications, and the more you exact a specific function out of a symbol, the more that symbol attains definition, thus immediacy. So the constellations of association hold, let's say symbols, let's say places in your mythos. Those constellations are larger, less important or less upfront in their interaction with the conscious mind. So the smaller, more refined definition of symbol, the more that symbol will have influence on your conscious mind, and the more you will thus have influence on it and the unconscious mind that retains the faculty represented by that larger connectome. And so we have the ability to be masterful, to make the clumsy mistakes and the glitches, to adapt to the glitches, making the fall look like it was part of the dance. It's that simple. Learning grace. That's what grace is. Forgiveness. Forgiveness of sins is a concept that everyone has a bias against, so they can't see the full important meaning of it, which applies to everyone. Doesn't matter who you are. It's just a metaphor. Grace, God's grace, is faith in a higher power of intelligent order, or higher order of organization, that is able to compensate for mistakes made or glitches, and is able to make them look like they were part of the plan the entire time. Faith in the universe's ability to do that will allow the universe to do that for you more often. That's what the masterful is. He's a master fool, because he can go around having fun while, making a fool of himself, but at the same time impress upon his atmosphere and the people surrounding him that he interacts with the idea that he is a master of his own folly. That's what they call crazy wisdom. Look it up on Wikipedia. So the masterful drives the glitch worship. The glitch worship is worship of the glitch, meaning I worship the chaos to a degree. The chaos is the pure potential conglomeration of glitches conglomerating, creating ever more scope of potential to draw inspiration from and energy from and motivation and whatnot, sources of fuel. That's what chaos is. It's fuel for order. So the glitch worship is the driving force, meaning the force of opposition. Worship is spelled with A. Worship as an actual worship that is a function of worshipping, or paying attention to, or higher faith to, the nature of glitch and chaos and opposition in order on course of point placement, perfectly pinpointed on course correction, blah blah blah. It's always recombinant. The warship takes the fuel from opposing standpoints. Whoever is opposing your point of view, whatever oppositions you encounter, their only potential fuel friction fires for your warship of the glitch, which allows you access to further grace. The more you pay attention to the importance of the glitch, the more perceptive you'll be to the ability of achieving grace. Bypassing duality, polarity, opposition, transcending illusion based in separation, knowing, convincing your unconscious mind that separation is an illusion. Now, if you can't do psychedelics to break your conditions like that are already installed via culture, society, then, well, I highly suggest that that be the driving apocalyptic cataclysm of old world destruction within your mind that you use to create the chaos needed for the embedding of new beliefs or new ideas that leave room for adaptive belief systems. If you can't do that, then it's time, space, energy, ritual, order, repetition, interpretation. It's logic. It's constant using faith-based ritual, faith in your unconscious ability to adhere to the repetitious impression of certain ideas via symbol and ritual. Use a ritual surrounded by symbols that you use in a way, motioning. Whatever courses of action you put that symbol through, say you light a fire, you light something on fire that represents, you're burning this old belief and you're going to build something on top of the ashes. Whatever ritual you do it more and more often. And eventually, with logic, you learn to use logic to convince your ego, because your ego only exists based out of the logic that holds its belief system together. If your logic is flawed, then your belief system will be flawed. So that's why you use logic to convince your ego of the truth, of the illusion of separation. And this is the way you will find to the abilities allowing you the capacity and the conductivity in body, mind, soul to harness the energy out of opposing standpoints or anything that creates tension. Tension and release is the mechanism for leveraging the meridians in your body. Through momentum, you tension, building momentum, you tension and release. It's like music, the entropy of music. You're creating entropy in the atmosphere, in your aura, when you do that stuff. So keep practicing those wavy motions. Try tension and release exercises with ever greater intricacy and complexity. Force it a little. It won't come natural, but that's what I did. I forced it a little bit, here and there, rave music, dancing to that. I have some videos on how I used to dance. It's crazy how far I've came. But anyway, forcing a little bit of intricate chaos, no matter how coordinated it is, will open up pathways, neuronal pathways in your muscle memory to ingrain your intent to be able to coordinate that intricacy and to be able to harness that chaos. With intent, through force, sheer force of will, creating chaos in movement. Through time, repetition, ritual, eventually your unconscious will respond, and it will do the work for you, and it will give you the intuitive guidance necessary for you to be able to achieve the intricate grace that allows you to achieve perfect placement of aura, honing a greater influence on the collective holofractographic reality matrix. Greater influence is achieved through greater synchroharmonious placement within the bigger picture. That's why we use symbols to reprogram our brain, which reprograms our aura, which reprograms our interaction with our environment, which reprograms our environment. Thus, as below, so above. As within your mind and your symbols, the complexity of your symbol sets in your mythology, as above, within the universe. Response time. Everything is connected to everything else, every which way, always. And it is the butterfly dragon effect that enables you to hone mass accumulation of charge density, building gravity through emotional momentum, ingraining your will into your body, into your environment. Is a portal. Your presence is a portal. Treat it as such, as a sacred temple, because it is affecting everything that is. Take care of that. Alright, so the glitch worship, one of my phrases is on glitch worship, no, through glitch worship in alienation of reality, on glitch worship of alteration in mind, in alienation of reality, on occult order of glitch worship. I, Anecdotal Myers, in pure clear love light, blessed be, Amen. That's my most common prayer. It captures inalienation, is a reference to the alien abduction, the importance of that, and the UFOs and their influence, and the calling down of their energies and knowledge. Calling down of their presence in alienation of reality means outside of the reality, meaning outside of the illusion. Transcending illusion by isolating your point of perception, your consciousness, in a mythical place that is deemed outside of reality. So in alienation of reality, on occult order, hidden order. So being outside of time, space, and reality, matrix, illusions, whatnot. On occult order is you're on hidden order. In alienation of reality, on occult order of glitch worship. Glitch worship is glitch worshipping the chaos, adapting to the glitch to achieve grace and greater influence. Greater coherence within your holistic system. So, in alienation of reality, on occult order of glitch worship, on alteration of mind. Sometimes add on alteration of mind power. On alteration of mind means glitch worship on alteration of mind. Alteration is spelled A-L-T-A-R-A-T-I-O-N rather than A-L-T-E-R. Alteration of mind, my version, means turning the transforming, literally trance, putting your mind into a trance of hypnotic repetition and neurolinguistic programming and patterns of environmental interaction to alter the mind, literally and figuratively. But most importantly, you're putting it on an altar. You're turning your mind into an altar space, sacred and consecrated with the core consecration catalyst, which is what sanctifies your concentrated point core that is key to containment of the key to all access pass. So turning your mind into an altar space, your entire mythology becomes sacred because you literally have convinced your ego by now through logic and repetition with practice and witness as a witness of its effects, its feedback loops of synchronicity and meaning, and the stuff you've learned, you know, through concentration. The more you practice these things, the more you'll see, and the more you'll come to a sense of what is sacred, and that is important progress to get to eventually. Having a if you already have it, then that's awesome. That's perfect. You need it. Glitch worship on alteration of mind is important because your mind needs to be sacred. An altar containing these objects, these myths and symbols as representative of what is holy in the cosmos, in whatever you visualize the omniverse to be. So, in alienation of reality on glitch worship, in alteration of mind power, I, Anecdotal Myers, in pure clear love light, blessed be, amen. I, Anecdotal Myers. Anecdotal Myers is the mnemonic phrase that was given to me as a passcode. It was telepathically imprinted in my mind in the abduction experience I told you guys about, and that's what the oval telepathically put this in my head. And after I went through a portal of pure color we can't see with the naked eye, light speed, center point through this portal, just my point of consciousness, I was like, I downloaded color, and color is acting as like a catalyst. It's the consecration catalyst for the knowledge base of operations and access to a higher order of conscious organization of information. So, Anecdotal Myers, I was like, what the hell does that mean? And I wrote it on my bed when I woke up. It's literally telepathically communicated to me by this being of pure white light with an outer blue hue, everything inside and out glowing with the most heavenly pearly light. But so over time I've been using that phrase to access, use it as a mnemonic key to access the download and channel the information and integrate the simplexity. And so I, Anecdotal Myers, means if I, Anecdotal Myers, meaning I anecdote all my errs. This is what it came down to. It goes right into forgiveness and glitch worship. To anecdote all your errs is to turn all your errors into anecdotes or lessons to learn from. One definition of anecdote is a funny story teaching a lesson by referencing an instance in time space where somebody didn't do something they should have and had to learn a lesson for it, and it became a funny story. So I, Anecdotal Myers, means I turn all my anecdotes or all my errors into anecdotes, meaning I forgive all my sins and learn from my mistakes and get back on the horse and act as if it was all part of the plan, graceful like a boss, integrating it, learning from every aspect, not stressing over anything. Every person opposing, in the glitch worship, every single point of opposition stance, creating friction within my system, challenging me to think for myself and to solidify my understanding of glitch adaptation. It's all been extracted of its core essential principle. The pure principle of the matter at hand is the basic infrastructure of what's important and what brings wholeness and fulfillment and meaning and purpose to your presence and your process of presencing. So blessed B is spelled with 2 E's because a blessed bee buzzes. Just cause. Oh, and a just cause justly causes a just cause. No, but really, justice just is. Anyway. I think that's all I've got. I'll show you my antenna out here. That antenna is funneling, channeling. It's a vortex, little portal. It's taking in all the energy that I put into this house. We're about to move out of this house, so all the energy I put into it, all the magic, all the emotion, and the patterns of ritual, I'm channeling all into that antenna right there. That antenna is putting it all into the earth, and that's one of the huge aspects of my personal mythology, is imbuing the earth with the love light of Anecdotal Myers and establishing the presence of the AEON, Anecdotal Myers, in earth, on the noospherical plane of the collective unconscious, to provide access, and further precise, pinpointed access, cross-sectioning, getting the point across between two people crossing paths, pierced like an arrow of intent straight through the middle of their crossing, so that they can both relate on it, meaning share it. A shareable thought is based in pure principle. That's what Dan Winter taught me. So yeah, all the magic of this house that I put in is going into that antenna. By the way, when I say Anecdotal Myers after the glitch warship section, I mean Anecdotal Myers. Not only that, but the initials of Anecdotal Myers is AM, Ascended Master. Myself ascended outside of time, space, transcendent of illusion, came back to give me something that I needed in this current incarnation, self, whatever. So the initials AM, when you say I Anecdotal Myers, you're also saying I am, or I am Ascended Master, or I ascend Master. I ascend masterfully, whatever. It's all recombinant. The more associations you correlate and connect, intertwining, interweaving reality and myth, the more available chaos your unconscious will have to harness potential power from, empowering your own feedback loop. The more it has to draw from, the more it has to give. That's the science of synchronicity. Science spelled with a P. I think I'm gonna stop here though. Probably talk too much. I love you guys.